This is the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast, episode 625.
I program my own computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster.
Hello, everybody. This is Adam Silvey, host of the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, upcoming events. We have two next weekend. First one is WordCamp Port Harcourt. It's February 21st, one-day camp, and that is in Nigeria. And a quick factoid. I'm going to start adding a little factoid in here, I think, maybe on one camp per week. Port Harcourt sits in Nigeria's oil-rich Niger Delta. It's nicknamed for the garden as the Garden City, and it was founded in 1912 as a British colonial port named after Secretary of State Lewis Harcourt. So there you go. Something you can learn today about the location of a WordCamp. All right. Also, next weekend is WordPress Dev Day 2026 in San Jose, Costa Rica, a one-day camp, February 21st as well. All right. Moving on, segment one in the news. Only one thing to talk about here so far. I meant to mention this last week. WordPress launched its first foundation-backed micro-credential focused course, I guess, focus on AI. It's called AI Leaders. It's designed to give students hands-on experience. It kicks off this March with I guess 80 students from Illinois and Louisiana. And I guess after you take it, you get $1,000 for participating if you're a student. So you get paid to contribute to a real project. Pretty cool. So it's funded by University of Illinois Chicago Tech Solutions, Open Source Fund, UIC, and Automatic. So pretty cool. All right. So I guess if you qualify, there'll be a link in the show notes if you want to figure out how to apply to see if you are in those areas and if you have a student in your household who may qualify. All right, is that it for the news? Yeah, like I said, that's it for the news. All right, moving on. Segment 2, the meat potatoes of this week's episode. This week, I'm talking about quizzes. I mean, who doesn't love a number 2 pencil and the Scantron? Wait a minute, I might be dating myself there. Okay, but to be honest, back in the day, I was not a fan of quizzes. I mean, I'm not sure who was, but I didn't like quizzes and tests. I mean, whatever. But the idea of this week's episode is that I'm a part of a local chamber business launch mentoring program. I'm the mentor, and in my most recent meeting with my mentee, the topic of quizzes came up for her business and the website and whatnot. So it got me thinking, and here we are. So I dove into the space again, and it connects to websites. I want to see how it would connect to a website. As it turns out, quizzes are having the quiet comeback, if you will, this year, in the last few months, actually. If you have a website, and depending on your audience, you might need a quiz. Because technically, your site has 2 jobs. Help people self-identify, and then you help them route them to the right next step. So if you think about it, a quiz is basically a guided conversation. It turns the browsing mode of your website into I'm ready mode to maybe buy something, right? So got a couple areas to go over here. For example, who uses the quizzes? Right, well, agencies, coaches, consultants, and I'm going to kind of break these down a little bit. So agencies, coaches, consultants, course creators, membership owners, local businesses. But breaking them down even further, the agency, you might want to qualify the lead before that discovery call, the budget range, the timeline, the platform, the priorities, right? And then you can match the package, which maintenance plan fits you. Or are you looking for a redesign? And then you can do that as an intake that feels friendlier than just a form, right? So it's a little kind of a quiz thing there. If you're a coach or consultant, what type are you? Are you a beginner? What are you looking for from the coaching perspective? If you're helping people who are beginners, intermediate, or advanced, personalized recommendations, right? Start here, resources, mini plan, product fit. If you're a course creator or you own a membership site, maybe it's placement quizzes. Which modules would you start with? Possibly a lead magnet upgrade, quiz result page to an email capture form to an automated sequence of emails after that. And lastly here, let's say you're a local business owner, service provider. Possibly let's say you do HVAC, right? So which service do you need? Or maybe you're a painter. How many rooms do you have? How big are the rooms? So kind of that type of quiz kind of information, and then it can kind of all route you to the next step would be, in this case, as a business provider, maybe an appointment, right? An expectation of timeline and the budget range and expectation estimate pricing kind of thing. So That leads me to why quizzes work. It's kind of the psychology about it, but I don't want to get too weird and too deep in the woods here, but micro commitments. That's what we're going to call it, micro commitments. People will often answer 6 questions faster than they're going to read 1,200 words on your website. It's been proven apparently. So, I mean, that's the research shows this. You can personalize at scale. Results can feel custom, even if they're a template, okay? And then you can segment that out. You can send better emails because you know what they picked. So right off the bat, that's why they work, okay? Now, quiz formats makes a big difference here. The outcome quiz is one of them. Which option fits you best for like lead generation and segmentation? There's the assessment and score. How ready are you? So which is best for qualification. There's a right-wrong knowledge quiz, training, onboarding, internal learning. And then there's a survey style, which is used usually for research and audience insights. Okay. So now, of course, this leads me now to how do you implement the quiz, which makes the most sense. Of course, it's the standard WP answer. It depends. Which one do you use? How do you do it? What are the options here to get this on your website? So option A, I think I have 3. I have 3 options for you here. Option A, use a WordPress quiz plugin. It's native, it's on your site. It's best when you want to, control the experience completely inside of WordPress and have it be very tightly controlled. Full disclosure, my first go-to here would be Gravity Forms. I've been a developer license holder. It probably was my first premium plugin that I bought and grandfathered in. That would be my go-to because it has quizzes built into it if you want. Yes, there are other form plugins, WP Forms, Formidable, I believe, that also have that functionality. Pros and cons. The pro is it keeps everything in WordPress. It uses blocks or shortcodes, easy to theme within your site. The con is that you own the performance. You have to deal with spam prevention and you have to deal with security updates. Okay. Option B is using a third-party quiz builder and then you embed it. For example, Typeform, Jotform, very clean. Modern user experience right out of the box. They have a way to embed that into a WordPress webpage with an embed code, and there you go. This route is really ideal when you want to just launch really quickly, avoid managing complex quiz logic inside of WordPress, and rely on a really strong built-in integration with the email platform and maybe a CRM. The trade-off here is cost. Most of these are going to have a monthly subscription, and your quiz data lives off-site, so you got to be careful of that. So, option C is using your email platform quiz to integrate into your website. Meaning, for example, MailerLite or what's the other one I was thinking of recently? I can't think of that company. Not Asana. I cannot think of it. What's it called? People are yelling at me right now about all the different. Anyway, email providers. If your main goal is list growth and automation, building the quiz inside of your email platform can be really strategic. MailerLite offers this. What is the other one called? I can't remember what it is. All right. Anyway, but the flow will be like this. You take the quiz, then opt in. The automatic tagging or groups get based on the results, followed by a targeted email sequence, and eventually an offer, right? Each result becomes a segment. Each segment receives an email, et cetera, et cetera. So it's pretty cool how this works. And it's all on the email service platform. And if you've done it right, you can then email people with permission and kind of do that right off the bat. All right, so now that leads me to how do you choose? What's the decision? What's the process here to pick what you want? So it comes down to what you care about most. Speed, control, segmentation. You don't need the perfect setup here. You just need one that matches your goal and your tolerance for tools because there's a lot going on here, right? So 3 options here. If you want fastest launch and best templates, go with the SaaS embed, like Typeform. You'll be live quickly, design will look polished, and you won't be tinkering inside your site, okay? If you want everything inside of WordPress, use a quiz plugin, either, Gravity Forms, one of the form builders. I think Thrive Themes makes a quiz in there as well, but that makes sense for a lot of people. That's what I would do personally. But if the main goal is a newsletter growth and segmentation, then you're going to use like an email service provider like a MailerLite or an Aweber, I think it was the other one. Or, I know Constant Contact, I think has one. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. So there are companies there. So that the quiz feed ability to tag things and group things, and that way you can have smarter follow-ups. So at the end of the day, pick a path that makes the implementation easy for you so you actually ship the quiz. A simple live quiz beats out anything versus something that doesn't, ever launch, right? It's not just engagement. It's a lightweight sales way to approach potential buyers. Okay, so keep that in mind. So if you have a solution that you like, you want to share, by all means, let me know. And there you go, quizzes. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to dive into all the different plugins. Maybe I could do a review if you want. I can take the time, learn about some more plugins out there, do some reviews on that. Let me know. I'm more than happy to do that if you want me to take a dive into those. Okay, moving on. Segment 3, tip and tool of the week. This week, it's a video. It's over on YouTube. Found this in my just doom scrolling a few weeks back. It's a 3 minutes, 47 second video about doing stuff. It's by Rick Bebbington. I just recommend you spend those 3 minutes and 47 seconds and watch it more than once. So give yourself 10 minutes, watch it almost 3 times. Okay, check it out. It's about just doing stuff, and it really kind of hit home for me. So there you go. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. If you have any questions, go ahead, send it in via email, adam@kitchensinkwp.com, or use a SpeakPipe function on the website. If you want to support the show, become a Patreon or buy me a coffee. I'd love to have you do that. If you want to sponsor the show, that's awesome. You can fill out the form on the website, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. All right? Bye-bye. Oh, you still there? One more thing. Next weekend, my youngest son's golden birthday, 21 on the 21st, and on the 22nd, my dad turns 95. He'll never hear this, but happy birthday, Dad. Love you. Happy birthday, son. Love you too. Okay, bye.